give the important questions. To give the important questions in the third unit, fourth unit, and fifth unit. See, in third unit, important questions means here. What is the principle? Write down the question. Write down the questions I am telling. First question in third unit. What is the principle in transformer? First question. What is the principle in transformer? Can anyone tell what is the principle in transformer?
Induction.
Okay. Mutual induction. That is the principle. And second question you write down. What are the types of transformers according to construction? What are the types of transformers according to construction? Second question. What are the types of transformers according to construction? Can anyone tell? What are the types? Shell type and core type. In exam, they'll ask for 2 marks. What are the types of transformers according to construction? You have to write shell type and core type. I have given diagrams also for the shell type and core type in your notes. When I have explained this one, go through that. That is the second question in the transformers. Third question, you write. Why transformer core is laminated? Third question. Why transformer core is laminated? Anyone? Why transformer core is laminated? Can anyone tell? To avoid the eddy current loss. Right on. Why transformer core is laminated means to avoid the eddy current loss. If you write this, you will give 2 marks. To avoid the eddy current loss. That is the third question. Next, fourth question. Write down the fourth question. Derive the EMF equation of transformer. Derive the EMF equation of transformer. I think we have derived the equation. What is the equation we have derived? Derive the EMF equation of transformer. What is the equation we have derived? Formula. What is the formula? E is equal to 4.44 Fn BA. We have done the problems also. So many problems on this formula. Is it okay? Fourth question. 5 marks they asked. Derive the EMF equation of transformer. First 3 questions 2 marks. This question is 5 marks. Derive the EMF equation of transformer. Okay. Based on formula, we have done the problems also. So many problems. What is transformation ratio? Next question. What is transformation ratio? Fifth question.
A1 by K2 equals to N2 by N.
Okay. K is equal to V2 by V1 is equal to N2 by N1 is equal to I1 by I2. That is transformation ratio. They will ask for 2 marks. Next, sixth question. Draw the equivalent circuit of the transformer. We have discussed this equivalent circuit in length, and problems also had done on this equivalent circuit. Okay, problems also had done on this equivalent circuit of transformer. They'll ask for 5 marks. Draw the equivalent circuit of the transformer. I think you have written the assignment also. I have given assignment also on this. You have submitted the assignment on this to me. Equivalent circuit of transformer. That is the sixth question. Next, write down the seventh question. Explain the losses in transformer. What are the losses? What are the losses in transformer?
Copper loss.
Iron loss and copper loss. What are the types of iron losses?
Hysteresis.
Hysteresis and eddy current loss. So iron loss is of two types, hysteresis and eddy current loss. So there are mainly two losses. One is iron loss and the one is copper loss. How can you determine the iron loss and copper loss? By using which tests? Iron loss is determined with the help of iron loss is determined with the help of which test? Open circuit test. Copper loss, short circuit test. So in your text, write down the next question. Explain the tests. Explain the tests. Explain the tests. Tests means open circuit test and short circuit for determining the losses in transformer. Otherwise, what are the tests used for determining losses in transformer? Two tests we are use. One is open circuit test and the one is short circuit test. I have explained the procedure also for open circuit test and short circuit test. We had done problems also on open circuit test and short circuit test. Go through those. If you are having doubt, you can ask me. Okay, later. Explain the tests for determining losses in transformer. Is it okay? Two tests. One is open circuit test, short circuit test. Open circuit test is used for determining iron loss, short circuit for copper losses. Okay. Next question you write down. What is regulation? What is regulation? I think I have given the notes also for this regulation. We have done problem also on this regulation. What is regulation? What is regulation? Means you have to write the definition of regulation and two formulas I had put, 2 to 3 formulas. You have to write those formulas for regulation. There is two types of regulation, regulation up and regulation down. Okay. Next question. Next question is at what, write down the question. At what condition maximum efficiency is obtained in transformer? At what condition maximum efficiency is obtained in transformer? At what condition maximum efficiency is obtained in transformer? Can anyone tell? We have derived the condition. This they will ask for 5 marks. Derive the condition for maximum. Otherwise, the question will be like this. Derive the condition for maximum efficiency. Derive the condition for maximum efficiency. They can ask in any way. Derive the condition for maximum efficiency for 5 marks. Can anyone tell the final answer? What is the condition? What is the condition?
Losses should be equal, sir.
Okay. Copper loss should be equal to iron loss. Okay. Wi is equal to WCU. Wi is the iron loss, that is equal to WCU. WCU is copper loss, that is I square R loss. Copper loss means I square R loss. This condition you have to derive for 5 marks. Next question you write down. Derive the saving of copper in auto transformer. Next question. Derive the saving of copper in auto transformer. Derive the saving of copper in auto transformer. For 5 marks they'll ask. You have to draw the auto transformer diagram, either step up or step down, and you have to derive the formula for saving of copper in auto transformer. For saving of copper in auto transformer, you have to derive the formula. Can anyone tell what is the formula? Saving is equal to Saving is equal to, what is the formula? We had derived this. Saving is equal to K into weight of copper in ordinary transformer. That is the formula. We had to derive that formula. Okay. Next question you write down. What are the different three-phase transformer connections? Explain the different three-phase transformer connections. Explain the different three-phase transformer connections. What are the types of three-phase transformer connections? What are the types?
Delta delta.
Okay.
6 types.
6 types are there. First one is star star. Second one is delta delta. Third one,
Star delta.
star delta. Fourth one, reverse, delta star. Star delta, delta star. Okay. Fifth one, open delta. Sixth one, Scott connection. But among these 6 types, in exam you write only first 4 types. Explain only first 4 types. But you can list out the 6 types of three-phase connections. But in exam you explain only first 4 types. Connection diagrams. I had told in the class connection diagrams how to draw three-phase connections. On primary side 3 windings will come. On secondary side 3 windings will come. How we are connecting for these 4 connections. Those things I have explained in the class. When I have explained this, so many students are absent to the class. Listen the recording. I have shared the recording of these three-phase connections. Then you can understand. Okay. So how many questions I have told in the transformers? Have you written the questions? Can you post it in the WhatsApp group? These questions what I have told now of transformer. Take a photo and post it in the WhatsApp group so that all the students can see. Someone can post. Okay. Nobody is posting. Then I will go to the next one. Next unit, what are the questions? Fourth unit is see. What are the questions in the fourth unit? Electrical machines. What are the topics you have studied in electrical machines in fourth unit? Can anyone tell? What are the topics you have studied? 3 topics. What are those 3 topics we have studied in electrical machines in fourth unit? First one is 3-phase induction motor. Second one is single-phase induction motor. Third one is synchronous generator. Totally 3 topics are there in fourth unit. 3-phase induction motor, single-phase induction motor, and synchronous generator. First, I will tell the questions on 3-phase induction motor. Write down the first question. Write down the first question. What is the principle in 3-phase induction motor? What is the principle in 3-phase induction motor? Write down. What is the principle in 3-phase induction motor? First question. What is the principle? What is the principle? Same as that of transformer, mutual induction. Second question you write down. Why three-phase induction motor is called rotating transformer? Why three-phase induction motor is called rotating transformer? Why three-phase induction motor is called rotating transformer? Can anyone tell why three-phase induction motor is called rotating transformer?
Sir, sir,
Sorry, I have kept in mute, I think.
sir, I forwarded in official group, sir. Unit 3.
Oh, which one?
Unit 3 I forwarded, sir.
Okay. Okay, one. Okay. Everyone can go through these questions later. So 12 questions I had told, I think. These 12 questions you can prepare so that you can cover the entire unit. Okay. Thank you. Next in fourth unit. Fourth unit, I had told any questions? I have kept in mute, I think. Have I told any questions in fourth unit?
First question, sir.
What is the first question I had told?
Principal.
What is the principle in transformer? That is mutual induction. Second question is why induction motor is called, why three-phase induction motor is called rotating transformer? Why three-phase induction motor is called rotating transformer? Because in transformer, both primary and secondary windings are stationary. There is no rotating part. Principle in transformer is mutual induction. But in three-phase induction motor is also principle is mutual induction. But stator is stationary in three-phase induction motor. Stator is the primary winding, but the secondary rotor is the secondary winding. Rotor is rotating, but in transformer, both primary and secondary are stationary. There is no rotating part in the transformer. That's why transformer is called static device. Sometimes in exam they'll ask why transformer is called static device. Why means both primary and secondary are stationary. There is no rotating part in the transformer. But when you come to the three-phase induction motor, primary winding is stator. Stator is stationary. And the rotor is secondary winding. Rotor is rotating. That's why, but the principle in transformer and three-phase induction motor is mutual induction. Since the secondary winding rotor is rotating in three-phase induction motor, we are calling it as rotating transformer. Three-phase induction motor is called rotating transformer. The reason is one winding is rotating, that is rotor. Rotor is rotating. Is it clear? Second question. Next, third question. Explain the construction and working of three-phase induction motor. Explain the construction and working of three-phase induction motor. Can anyone tell what you will write for this construction and working of three-phase induction motor? Can anyone tell? What you will write for this construction and working of three-phase induction motor? How many parts are there in the induction motor? What are the parts in induction motor? What are the parts in induction motor? Stator and rotor. Stator and rotor. There are two types of three-phase induction motor. What are those two types? What are the two types of three-phase induction motor? First one is squirrel cage. Second one is slip ring. Okay. So the stator is same. Stator part is same, both for squirrel cage and slip ring induction motor. We have to explain the stator of slip ring and squirrel cage. Stator construction is same, both for squirrel cage and slip ring. But rotor construction is different for squirrel cage and slip ring. Based on the rotor only, it is divided into two types. One is squirrel cage and the one is slip ring. So we had to write the construction and working of both squirrel cage and slip ring. In the textbook also I have told the page numbers also. That's what we had to write. We had to explain stator and rotor of this three-phase induction motor. If you write that, that is your answer for the question what I had told now. Explain the construction and working of three-phase induction motor means stator is common both to squirrel cage and slip ring, but rotor is different. What is the difference in the rotor for squirrel cage and slip ring? Anyone? What is the difference? In squirrel cage, rotor bars are permanently short circuited at the end point. But in slip ring, voice is not audible. Somebody is speaking. In slip ring, what will happen? Somebody is speaking, but voice is not coming. Okay, some network issue is there on the other end. Okay. See here, in slip ring, we can add some external resistance to the rotor bars. But in squirrel cage, we can't add the external resistance. Why means rotor bars are permanently short circuited at the end point for squirrel cage. But in slip ring, the rotor bars are not short circuited. We can add some external resistance. That is the difference between the squirrel cage rotor and slip ring rotor. Next question you write down. They'll ask for 2 marks. Why squirrel cage rotors are given slight skew at the end point? Write down. Why squirrel cage rotor? Why squirrel cage rotor is given slight skew at the end points? Why squirrel cage rotor is given slight skew at the end point? Otherwise, what is skewing? Simply they will ask, explain skewing in squirrel cage induction motor. What do you mean by that? Why you use skew? Anyone? Why slight skew is given at the end point of the squirrel cage rotor? 2 reasons I had told. What are those 2 points? Somebody can tell. Why slight skew is given at the end point of the squirrel cage rotor? Some bending is given. Skew means some bending is given at the end point of the rotor. Why? Two reasons. For 2 marks they'll ask. What is the first reason? To reduce the magnetic hum. Magnetic hum means magnetic noise. To reduce the magnetic noise or magnetic hum, hum, sound. Hum means sound. To reduce the magnetic hum. That is the first reason. Second reason, to avoid interlocking between stator teeth and rotor teeth. To avoid the interlocking between stator teeth and rotor teeth. To avoid the interlocking between stator teeth and rotor teeth. Suppose if interlocking is there, the rotor will not rotate. That's why you have to avoid the interlocking in between the stator teeth and rotor teeth. This is the second reason. Due to these two reasons, we are giving slight skew at the end point of the rotor in squirrel cage rotor. Okay, that is the next question. Next question you write down. What is slip? What is slip, comma? What is slip, comma? Rotor speed. Rotor speed. We have to write the formulas for this. What is the formula for slip? What is the formula for slip? For 2 marks?
ns minus n by ns into 100.
Okay, that is percentage slip, ns minus n by ns into 100. What is the rotor speed formula n? What is the rotor speed formula? What is the formula?
120 f by p.
That is ns, stator speed. You are telling about stator speed. ns is equal to 120 f by p. I am asking the rotor speed formula n.
N is equals to ns into 1 minus s.
Okay, rotor speed is n is equal to ns into 1 minus s. And the frequency of rotor currents f dash. Frequency of rotor currents f dash formula. F dash is equal to
SF.
SF. Okay. Next, very important question for 5 marks they will ask. Right on the next question. Explain the torque slip characteristics. One graph I had told in between torque and slip. Explain the torque slip characteristics. Very important compulsory question for 5 marks. Explain the torque slip characteristics. Explain the torque slip characteristics. For 5 marks they'll ask. This is very, very important questions. Every time they are asking for 5 marks. One graph I had told. One rectangular hyperbola and a straight line curve is there based on the torque equation. What is the torque equation in 3-phase induction motor? Can anyone tell? Based on the equation only, you had drawn these characteristics. What is the torque equation? Torque tau is equal to 3 by 2 pi ns s e2 square r2 by r2 square plus sx2 whole square. This formula I have told. Based on this formula only, we had drawn the torque slip characteristics. Okay. Next question. Explain the block diagram for loss components and efficiency. Explain the block diagram for loss components and efficiency. I think I have told the block diagram for loss components and efficiency. See in your textbook. I have told the sequence diagram starting from P1. What is P1? Input power to the stator. After that, stator copper loss and iron loss. After stator copper loss and iron loss, what is the next component? P2. What is P2? Input power to the rotor. After P2, what is that? Rotor copper loss. After rotor copper loss, next component, what is the power? Which power? Mechanical power. After mechanical power, friction and windage loss. After friction and windage loss, finally, output power. So these are the stages for loss components. First, stator input power, then stator copper loss and iron loss. Next, rotor input power P2, then rotor copper loss. After rotor copper loss, mechanical power. After mechanical power, friction and windage loss. After friction and windage loss, output power P out. Then efficiency is P out by P1. Efficiency is output power by input power. This is the block diagram. Sometimes they'll ask block diagram, otherwise they'll ask one, derive the form. Whatever I'm telling now, write down the question. Derive the relation for P2 is to PM is to PCR. They'll ask for 5 marks. This derivation compulsorily. Derive the relation between P2 is to PM is to PCR. P2 is to PM is to PCR. What is the answer for this? P2 is to PM is to PCR. We have derived this relation in notes for 5 marks. This is very, very important. P2 is to PM is to PCR. I'm telling the answer 1 is to 1 minus S is to S. This is the relation we have derived for 5 marks. 1 is to 1 minus S is to S. Derive the relation between P2 is to PM is to PCR. P2 is the rotor input power. PM is the mechanical power. PCR is the rotor copper loss. If you know this relation, we can apply this relation in the problems. We have done 3 to 4 problems based on this relation. P2 is to PM is to PCR. Is it clear? Okay. Next topic. Explain the starting methods of 3-phase induction motor. Next question. Explain the starting methods of 3-phase induction motor. Can anyone tell what are the starting methods? For squirrel cage, what are the starting methods? For slip ring, what are the starting methods? For squirrel cage, what are the starting methods? For slip ring, what are the starting methods? Starting methods of 3-phase induction motor. For squirrel cage, primary resistors is one method. Second method is auto transformer. Third one is star delta transformer. These are the starting methods of squirrel cage rotor. For slip ring rotor, what is the starting method? Rotor rheostat control. This is also a very important question for 5 marks. We have to explain this. For squirrel cage rotor, starting methods are primary resistors, auto starters, and star delta starters. For the slip ring, it is rotor rheostat control. Next question you write down. Explain the speed control methods of induction motor. Explain the speed control methods of 3-phase induction motor. What are the speed control methods in 3-phase induction motor? What are the speed control methods? On stator side, 3 methods are there. On rotor side, 3 methods are there. In speed control methods. On stator side, what are the 3 methods? On rotor side, 3 methods are there. On stator side, first one is voltage control. Second one is changing the frequency. Third one is changing the number of poles. On rotor side, three methods I had told. One is the rotor rheostat control. Next one is cascading or concatenation. Third one is injecting an EMF in the rotor circuit. Totally 6 methods are there for speed control of three-phase induction motor. At least you should know the methods. Side headings, at least you should know. At least if you write the side headings in the exam, they'll give half mark. Out of 5, they'll give some 2.5 mark at least. If you know the side headings, you can write something in that so that at least you'll get the marks. If you don't know the side headings also, it will be a problem. So there is a next question is speed control of induction motor. Next, this is the about three-phase up to here three-phase induction motor. Next topic is single-phase induction motor. In single-phase induction motor, what are the things we have discussed? What are the types? One is split-phase induction motor, and the one is what are the types of single-phase induction motor we have discussed in the class? One is split-phase, and the one capacitor start. They'll ask two questions. Otherwise, directly they'll ask explain single-phase induction motor. You explain the split-phase only. No need of capacitor. If they ask specifically capacitor start, you can write capacitor start. Explain single-phase induction motor means you have to explain split-phase induction motor. What I have explained in the class. Split-phase induction motor. Of the construction and working of the split-phase induction motor. The construction and working of split-phase induction motor only. Okay. And torque speed characteristics also has seen for the split-phase induction motor. For split-phase induction motor, we have seen the construction, working, and torque speed characteristic. This is one question. Explain the construction working of single-phase induction motor means that is split-phase induction motor. You have to write split-phase induction motor, construction, working, torque speed characteristics you have to draw. Write on the next question. Why single-phase induction motor is not self-starting? Write on the question. Why single-phase induction motor is not self-starting? Why single-phase induction motor is not self-starting? There is the next question. Done. Next, last topic is synchronous generator. What do you mean by synchronous generator? It is the AC generator or alternator. The other name of synchronous generator is AC generator or alternator. In exam, they'll ask a question like this. Explain the construction and working of synchronous generator. What will you write for this? Explain the construction and working of synchronous generator. What will you write for this in exam? Can anyone tell? You have to write about salient pole synchronous generator and cylindrical synchronous generator. Construction and working. There are two types of synchronous generator. One is salient pole type, and the one is salient pole type, and the one is cylindrical type. For these two types, you have to write the construction and working. The answer for this question is you have to write the construction and working of two types of generator. One is salient pole type, and the one is cylindrical type. So these are the probable questions in 4th unit. If anybody had written the questions, please post it in the WhatsApp group. Those questions. I'm stopping the class here. I will share the recording also to you. Okay, 1 minute. I'm taking the attendance screenshots.